All right, let's thank our sponsors. If you don't mind, give me a minute. FBC Insurance. We love those guys. Perfect for new homeowners, or even if you're just looking to reshop your current insurance policies. It's a good move. Shop over 35 A-rated companies. Simply go to FBCinsuranceservices.com and get a quote online. House, flood, auto, motorcycle, boat, recreational vehicle, personal policy, you name it. 888-308-1841. Dr. David Markwell and Ridgeline Counseling, markwelltherapy.com, 10 therapists in-house, 3 locations in Georgia, but he can do virtual sessions anywhere you're at. Ridgeline Counseling at gmail.com. Set it up directly with the good doctor, Dr. David Markwell. The Mad Dog, Manny Aurora, and his trusty sidekick, Pew Pew, with the AuroraLawFirm.com. You got some legal issues? He's the best damn criminal defense attorney in the world. White-collar crime, DUI, drug offenses, appeals, and more. Litigates all over the U.S., based out of Georgia. Inspect All Pest Services, providing the highest quality termite, pest, and wildlife control. Also, insulation, pressure washer, washing, gutter maintenance, and other home services there in Metro Atlanta and the surrounding areas. And our title sponsor for Livin Rent Free, which will have another submission this episode, non-GP, was it GP chat? GP, what is it?
GPT.
GPT. Sounds like a video game.
Yeah, it practically is. It can make you a video game.
Rachel Guy, she's my guy. That's my wife. She can be your guy too. If you're looking to buy or sell a house in Florida or Georgia, reach out to her, 404-797-4600, or email her. I am rachelguy@gmail.com. Alternate Power Solutions, love them. Family owned and operated, love it. Generac generator dealer, offering sales, service, installation, and repair of automatic home standby and portable generators. A+ rating with the BBB. None of us can say we have an A+ rating on anything. Call or request a free in-home assessment on the website. 770-853-7571. Or go to poweringeorgia.com. Get $500 off your entire installation by using the discount code Bailey. JHM Land Solutions, family owned and operated, grading, land clearing, mulching, and tree company. Servicing Georgia, Alabama, and Tennessee. No project too big, too small for JHM Land Solutions. Call them at 770-274-9120. Looking for a gutter and roofing specialist? We'll look no further. Jayco Contracting and Cliff Bratcher. Free gutter guards with the purchase of a roof, too. That's cool. Satisfaction guaranteed, commercial and residential. He's great. Works 7 days a week. 770-316-3876. JaycoContracting.com. And then a live ozone therapy spa located in Altamont Springs, Florida. It's mine and Rachel's new ozone therapy spa. First and only ozone therapy spa in Central Florida. Offering ozone therapy administered through what's called a Hocket sauna, the most non-invasive way to get it. Also, red light therapy, halo therapy, IR sauna, PEMF grounding mat, pressotherapy, and more. Use the discount code BS10, insert in-house services, or online for any of the ozonated products that we use in-house. If you'd like to sponsor the podcast and our radio show, which is on Saturday mornings, JRR in Orlando, and Planet Radio in Jacksonville, reach out to me via thebaileyshow.com. Podcast Imports 4 coming up. Saliva doing a special unplugged acoustic set. Very rare opportunity at Elixir, downtown Orlando, with Distinct Grace opening. Get those tickets on thebaileyshow.com, VIP and hotel, if interested, from the Hilton. Living rent free. I want to pay your rent for December. We'll get to that here in this episode. So let's begin.
What do we want to talk about?
To be yourself in a world that is constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment. Ralph Waldo Emerson.
Welcome to the Bailey Show podcast, a guy show women love to listen to.
Intellectually immature nonsense.
That's BS.
That's BS.
That's BS.
That's BS.
Okay, then, let's do it.
All right, there it is, episode 275 of The BS. Thanks for being here. My name's Jason Bailey. Right there, that's the Iron Fisted One, Chuck Lunsford. Hello, Chuck.
What's up, buddy? I am happy to be here with you.
We're happy to have you. There's the B-Man, Brandon Thrasher. Hello, B-Man.
I am happy as well.
Yeah, I am happy as well. You know, we joined the Chamber of Commerce for the live ozone therapy spa, right? So you pay money to the city, and that supposedly opens up doors and opportunities. And so we joined, someday last week, Rach texts me and says, hey, you want to do this? I said, sure, we should probably do this. So we do it. And then the very next day there's an event. And so we go to this church where they have this, I guess like twice, 3 times, 4 times a week. They're always doing something. And these people that run the Chamber of Commerce in Altamont Springs, they're like really, really proactive. I mean, they are into it, which is cool.
Wait,
right?
So the Chamber of Commerce is a government thing that's held in a church?
That's not a government thing. It's a community thing. It's for small businesses. Like you have an LLC, you should join it. So like you could go to these meetings or these events, I should say, and you have an opportunity to say who you are, you network, you meet people. If you pay a few extra dollars, and it's, at least in this case, a few extra dollars, you can have a table set up. You pay even more money, then you can get up for like, in this case, it was like 9 minutes and do this pitch and tell people about, but it's good to network, right? Because especially in our business, we will get most of our patients from like doctor's offices. There's a chiropractor that is on the same street on Maitland Avenue that we're on. He's seen us, seen our sign go up and so on and so forth. And he's like, yeah, I've been meaning to come over. Yeah. So somebody comes in, like we get calls. They're like, are you a massage? No, we don't do massage. So we have to explain to them what they are. So
Happy ending extra.
If they call, they're like, hey, do you do chiropractic work? We're like, no, but we meet this guy and we become friends and partners with him. And we say, no, but our friend down the street does, and he's really good. And that's kind of how that works. So anyway, it was kind of one of those I'm 49, this is my life now moments. And I never, I've been doing radio, for 30 years, and I was a part of the, I don't want to say golden era of radio, but probably the last era of radio where we were considered celebrities. We would be the event. We would be, that you would have me out. You would have the talent out as the focal point for them to MC your event or whatever. People want to meet you. They come up to you. Oh, you remember that one time, that kind of thing. Good times. I'm sitting at this meeting and I'm wearing an Alive Ozone Therapy Spa shirt, and I'm a worker bee, I'm sitting, I was the one that got up and I had 15 seconds to explain who we are and what we do, and I'm going around meeting these different people, and it's just, I don't know. It was cool. It was neat, but it was scary and it was sad. All in like all these emotions for me personally, because of what I've done throughout my whole life.
So you were like excited because it was new, but kind of sad because you're like down at the bottom of this new industry. Like you're starting over.
Well, yeah, I don't know if I'd word it like that, but that really, I probably would have fluffed it up and lightened the mood a little bit, but yeah, you are correct. So here's where I'm excited. I like challenges, and I like building things from the bottom up. I like to go from the bottom to the top. I like that climb, and I like the challenges that are in between, which is very odd because I'm a very impatient person and I want everything right now. Like I can never be satisfied, but that part excites me. The part that scares me is how Brandon so eloquently put it. I'm at the bottom. Right. I'm at the bottom and I'm just a guy that's opened up a business. No more, no less, nothing special. That's all I am. And I'm
starting over a career. Don't forget that part.
Yeah. And I'm starting over in a career. Right. Well, kind of, sort of, but I mean, if I wanted to go back to radio, I'm sure I could. I just don't want to. And there's just no opportunities out there that I would want. I don't, it's a different life. It's a different world, totally different world. So it was interesting. One of the guys there that had a little booth set up, I forget his name, but he has a company where he does video work and podcasting, and he'll set up your podcast, and which is a very smart industry. I was actually going to do that before I moved to California. I was going to expand the Bailey Entertainment LLC and teach people how to do this because everybody wants to do it.
You saw that guy, you're like, now this guy, I can show him what I know. But now these other people in the doctor industry, I don't know nothing.
Well, here's the thing is that for as long as I'd done radio, every single, for whatever reason, every single fucking lawyer, every fucking doctor, they just wanted to be radio personalities. That's all they wanted to be. So they found the loophole. They had a lot of money. They would spend the money. They would get on the radio. They would get a brokered show, and they would think that they were a radio personality when they were the farthest thing from it. But they paid for it, right? Or they would, we had that situation in Atlanta with the money guy. He spent a ton of money. He came in. There was a certain somebody that just blew him every single time because he got free services, and there was a lot of glad handing and backdoor deals and so on and so forth. And I was cool with it. I was fine because I didn't mind the guy. I actually liked the guy, but the guy was trying to rearrange my furniture. And that's the problem. I've had that issue with these types of people for years. There was an attorney before I left Orlando. Same thing. He wanted to do it his way. And I'm like, no, we have to come to an agreement on meet in the middle. This is not your radio show. I don't go to your office and rearrange your furniture. Don't come to my house and rearrange mine. Like, I know what's best on this side, this side of things. Let's find a happy medium so you're happy as well. They never want to negotiate. They just I pay $200,000 a year. I can do it however the fuck I want. No, you can't. And then when I put my foot down, because I have the right to do so, I'm the bad guy because then they pull their money from the radio station, and I've just cost the radio station $200,000. But you're not getting
usually people aren't happy about that part. But I know the lawyer you're talking about.
But if nobody's listening, then what's the point? Like the situation in Atlanta, I would look at the ratings, because at the time we were getting weekly ratings for that segment, and I would look at the ratings and I would see them just drop to the very bottom because the content on what he wanted to talk about was not of any interest to our audience. Zero. I knew how to talk about it so our audience would understand it. And this guy wants to take phone calls about 401ks and all this other shit. I'm like, this is not the show to do that on. There has to be a story. It has to be interesting. Like, no phone calls, zero. Like,
I don't know who we're talking about then, because the one lawyer I knew that we had him on, and then he was like, I think he's a divorce attorney. And
you're talking about George Stein. No. He was never. George was great. George was he was awesome. He pulled his money.
But I said his bits are great. Those were funny. But I remember one time I put through a guy that like pretty much was committing to murder. Like, I might have shot this guy, and we're like, I got yelled at because he was a divorce attorney, not a criminal lawyer.
Yeah,
he's like, well, how's your marriage? I mean, since you killed the person, are you and your wife getting along? Is divorce on the table?
It's like a felony case. I'm like, oh, my bad.
And that's the other issue when you take phone calls with these people. If you get a question that they can't answer, it just kills their credibility.
Yeah.
What are they going to do? If they say, I don't know the answer, then they don't know what they're talking about in the eyes of the audience. And if they lie and people know they're lying, then they really lose their credibility. So anyway, so it was just interesting. Like, there's these mixers that you go to, and you go and you do these things, and you network, and you do all these things. I like the networking aspect of it. Like, I carry business cards around with me now. I got little 20% off cards with me. I'm sitting here telling everybody and anybody about this spa and trying to educate them. And let me tell you something. We're about to unveil, which might be, every success story has that pop. Everything has that one thing. In radio, I was told years ago, he's a guy very high up with iHeartMedia right now. And at the time, he was on more of a local level when I worked with him in Tampa. He told me something one time that I'll never forget. He says, every great radio personality, or good even, has one bit that everybody will know them for. And that's fine, but just one bit. That's all you need, is just one bit. And most of the time that's organic. It happens. It's I'm going to commit suicide, jump off the Brooklyn Bridge, i.e. Howard Stern, right? It's that one bit. And that's the same with business, I think. I think once you get past that threshold of mediocrity, like just surviving, into where you get into major success, it's just that one thing. Whether it's a news story that breaks, maybe it's an occurrence. Like, if we were to have opened up a live ozone therapy spa during the pandemic, we couldn't keep the doors open enough. people would want to come in because ozone therapy is a COVID killer. We would have a line out the door, you know?
Yeah. No, the first thing though is like, I mean, when I say Randy Johnson, what do you think of?
Photography.
No, the bird.
Yeah, the bird, getting hit with the bird. Like the motherfucker was a great pitcher, and the only thing people remember him from is, oh, he was the guy that hit the bird, blew the bird up. That was the one great thing. But he had, he had a great career besides that, but no one ever remembers that. He was just the guy that hit the bird.
Mike Tyson.
Biting the ear off.
Biting the ear off. Yeah. Maybe this is probably for local people in Atlanta. Chipper Jones.
Number 10.
Okay. See, I always think of the story of him getting stranded or somebody getting stranded and him having
Freddie Freeman on the highway and him picking up with his four-wheeler during the Snowmageddon.
Right.
I thought that Snowmageddon thing.
I thought that was the coolest story ever. Like the guy's had such an amazing baseball career, but I always think of the four-wheeler story. But you're right.
That's funny.
That's my point is like, there's always that one outside the box story. So I think might have that. And possibly this week or next week, I'll be able to put it in the storytelling form on social media. So I had a friend of mine come to me and he says, hey, I've got a girl that works for me and she's in a bad way. She hasn't been able to work in weeks. She's depressed. She's losing it. And I said, what's wrong? And this is a thing. This is something that I've learned in just now 4 weeks that Alive Ozone Therapy Spa has been open, is that mold exposure is like a thing. Like there is a lot of people that get exposed to mold and suffer major symptoms from mold exposure.
Like asbestos?
No, like black mold, dude. Like I got some in this bathroom right here that I take a piss in. It's down there at the bottom a little bit, but I feel fine. I thought I might be immune. I'm like,
I thought asbestos was mold.
It could, yeah. Just any type of mold, but black mold's big. Just any type of mold, and it's more in women for whatever reason that they're being exposed to this. We've had already numerous women clients that have been exposed to mold, and what that does is it causes even more issues, I guess, with females than it does men that are really, really bad. In this case in particular, this woman was exposed to mold. And from her neck to her privates is just red, blotchy patches all over her body. And it's been like this for like 3 weeks. She's gone to doctors. They can't do anything. She's been prescribed pills, haven't worked. She's been prescribed medical creams. Nothing's working. She hasn't been able to go to work. She's depressed. She's itchy. She's miserable. It's not a good thing. So my buddy pulls me aside. He tells me about this girl. He says, hey, look, I need her here. I need her at work. I need her to get her life back, but nothing's helping. Do you think what you guys do, and he understands what we do, can help this? I said, absolutely. That's what ozone therapy does. It kills bacteria and fungi in the body, just like ozone does in a house. They use ozone treatment to kill black mold in people's houses. They come in with the hazmat suits, they quarantine the house, they shoot ozone into the house in high doses, and they killed all of it. That's a thing. In the body, it's just done a different way where it's safe, obviously, like we do it. She comes in, again, remember, this woman has got mold exposure from her neck down to her privates. Her entire body has got these bright red blotches. It is horrifying. She does 1 30-minute session of ozone therapy in the Hocket sauna. Those red blotches are now a light brown. You could see within hours it dying. She came in for her second session. It's almost gone. Is that not amazing? That's a story.
If that story, which is pretty amazing, if that doesn't put you on the map, I was thinking, my gears were grinding. You need a sign flipper out front. But I think that story's better. You should probably go with that story. But if that doesn't work,
sign flipper.
Dude, I'm a sucker for sign flippers, man. I love them.
Y'all gotta get it on the news. Let the local news know. I mean, you're getting good with the mayor now. And then the first time the mayor cuts it open, with you. And then a week later, you got this story. Perfect. Ready to go.
And then there's a sign flipper in the background.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like we see a new sign flipper. That's a main attraction, I hear.
You're saving lives. But before we get to that, what's Carlos's actual job? You're like, he's just a sign flipper. He's just the greatest there is. And people will come from miles around.
Yeah, a lot of people know Carlos. He's full-time at that corner up there. You know, he's big.
We stole him away from the mattress store. You probably have heard of them. Yeah, he works for us now. He knows all about ozone therapy, and he wants to support the cause. He's just flipping his life away.
He wasn't happy at the mattress store. He just got stage 4 melanoma because they would not give him a break and give him shade. So we at least have him under this nice tree out front here.
We're treating the skin problems as he flips.
I think the sign flipper that gets me is the one during tax time that's dressed up like the Statue of Liberty.
Oh, yeah. It makes you want to do your taxes there or sell your gold also.
Yeah.
How do they do it? And sometimes they do it in stilts. Like, what happens if you drop it? You're never going to pick that thing up.
Right. That's the key to the sign flippers. So anyway, that story, and I'm supposed to have a couple news stations do something, but they don't know about this story yet. I have to put it all together. Like we're still waiting for an end result. So she has to go to her doctor. And once, she goes to her doctor and her doctor says, it's gone. Like it's not there anymore. I mean, you physically with the eyes, you can see that it's going away. It's dying. So, I mean, it's great. She's like tickle pink. Like she won't stop texting Rachel, which is fine. She's going, oh my God. She's like, I'm going back to work. This is amazing. This is great. This is absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah, this would be great. Yeah, this would be great to get a little publicity on it. But also, you got the testimonials, but you've been talking about how it's kind of hard to explain. So I was thinking maybe find another one of these ozone therapy places, like, out of your competition reach, maybe like Texas or something, and get them on that also own one. Then y'all can kind of exchange ideas, and they've probably been doing it longer and maybe get a little more better idea on how to explain it to people.
Oh, so it's funny you say that. So that was kind of the reason I brought up the Chamber of Commerce thing. Luckily, just ironically, I should say, at our table was this new business opening up, and they're doing stuff that's very similar to us. So they're not doing ozone. They're not doing ozone therapy, and it's a different format. Like they're a chain, and it's more of a health club type of atmosphere, where ours is more boutique-y and medical and patient and wellness. Theirs is like communal, where everybody's hanging out together and everybody's doing the stuff together. They haven't opened yet, but they were very curious on what we were doing.
Oh, I bet.
They were shopping, the guy that owns it was there, Hispanic guy. And you can tell he's got a lot of cash. He's from South Florida. So he gets because right now it's very trendy. The red light therapy, the pressotherapy, all this stuff is very, very trendy. I mean, that's one of the reasons why we're doing it. The ozone therapy has not gotten there yet, but it is the next big thing. It's already a big thing, like in certain places. On the West Coast, it's huge. It's been around again for over 100 years, but nobody's doing it the way that we're doing it. So once people start to understand what it is, they're going, oh my God, this is amazing, So
a question I got for you, could I do, maybe I'm here and there's no ozone places near me, maybe Atlanta. Could I like tape trash bags around me, like seal off my, throat, neck area, my hands and my feet, and then just hook a regular ozone machine up to the outside of the trash bag? Would that work?
Yep.
Would that help me?
Absolutely. I don't know. Yes. And you should videotape every part of that, but I guarantee you'd be fine. Whatever your ailments are, the trash bag would do it.
Let me translate what Chuck's saying. I didn't hear a damn thing you said, but do it.
I do it. I think it'll work about the same thing, man.
I'm still trying. I don't know if you picked up on when he tried to say testimonials earlier, and he said testimonials, and like neither one of you even reacted.
I didn't catch it.
I'm just over here like chomping at the bit. So yes, give us a testimonial about your trash bag experience when you bag yourself up and put ozone. Are you gonna find ozone somewhere that you're just?
I got an ozone machine, Chuck. Okay, all right. I know what it is. I know how it works.
Why do you have
you can put it on your body?
Why do you have an ozone machine?
Because when you got a truck that sits for a while, you put it in there to get rid of the smell. When you got a smelly room in the house or something, you got water damage, you put it in there to get rid of the moldy mildew smell. It kills stuff. You have everything.
You don't have an ozone generator. You have an ozonator. So they're two different things. Yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
Is he talking about an ozonator?
Yeah.
That's not
An
That's not
ozone machine, it sucks. You can't be in the room with it or it'll kill you because it sucks all the stuff out of it. It kills it.
It's a little, just a tad bit of a different process, but like Chuck said, I'm with him. You do whatever you feel. Trash bags and testimonials and all that good stuff.
You got an ozone generator right here, 40,000 MIG/H, $50, Amazon. That's like what I got. Same thing.
So you can buy ozone generators. Like we have one that we use to ozonate our products. And you can, I mean, they go up to, crazy amounts of money. We actually have to upgrade because we might be doing a deal with a major brand where we would be ozonating something for them, which if this happens, it's pretty cool. It's on the very early stages of, it's my idea. I pitched it to him. And so we'll see where it goes.
Can you tell us
That'd
what
be cool.
it is?
Your new title will be Nike Ozonator.
Right. Do what now?
Can you tell us what product it is or what type of product?
It's a drink. It's a drink, and it's for a restaurant, a major restaurant, major chain. Across the country.
Is it going to be like one of those like where it's like a dry ice effect? Looks kind of cool.
No, actually, you're not far off. Yeah, we'd ozonate the ice because if you ozonate water, it only lasts for about 30 minutes. But if you ozonate ice, it'll last forever. So that's kind of the workaround where the ice
until the ice melts, right?
Yeah, but they're drinking a drink. That's kind of, so if you ever watch, Rogan talks about this, Gary Brecka's a big deal on social media.
Oh, yeah.
So Gary Brecka talks about ozone therapy a lot. The big thing is the guy that's created the ionized water.
Your stock's going down as you're talking about this.
That was a lot.
We don't ionize. So he does that with his cups, where you put the water in and it ionizes the water or whatever it is because it's better water for you. But Gary Brecka I'm trying to get a hold of Brandon. You get a hold of Gary Brecka and you get him on the show. I'll give you money.
Okay. Yeah. But I say he got Dana remember when Dana was like all out of shape and everything, probably like 10 years ago, and he started working with Gary Brecka.
Yeah.
Like Dana had some serious health conditions and Gary got him back down to he looks good now. He's back in shape and he's, feels great. So I believe in Gary Brecka. I'll get on that.
Gary Brecka is a genius, and Gary Brecka is a big fan of what we're doing. If you listen to his stuff or follow him on social media, if we had him on the show and we were having this conversation and I was telling him what we're doing with a live ozone therapy spa, he would be all in. This is right up his alley. And that's kind of what we're starting to see here, and we will see in the next couple of years. People like the Gary Breckas and the Dr. Drew Pinskys and stuff like that. They're talking about this holistic side of therapy, because I've not met one person that hasn't gone to a doctor and bitched and complained. It's like, why do I have to come in every time and pay a copay? Why am I taking these pills? You're giving me pills. Why? To take more pills.
Dude, you're like 3 degrees away from being nationally recognized by the presidency. Cause that senator, and then he can get you to the governor, and the governor can get you to RFK, who's all about this health, talking about it. There you go.
Yeah.
You got RFK's, and he represents your ozone therapy spa. That'd be perfect.
It's going to be interesting in the next 4 years to see the partnership between President Trump and RFK. When Trump is sitting there eating McDonald's every day and RFK is trying to preach about eating better and getting rid of these processed foods, it's like Trump's like, you just do what you've got to do. It's huge. I know it's huge. It's huge. I'm just going to eat my French fries. I'm looking for the little black one. I just want the little black French fry. It's good for ratings. It's going to be very odd. So anyway, so that might be our, when I release the pictures and the video and stuff of this young lady, with her permission, it's good. We need to have a conversation amongst the show, the bro show, I guess is now we're being coined, of phone etiquette. There's one person on this show out of 3 people that doesn't understand the concepts of phone etiquette. Would anybody like to guess who that person is?
I got 2 guesses.
Okay. Well, the odds are pretty good. If there's 2 other people other than you, would you go ahead, Brandon, please?
I got 2 guesses that are right. It's you and Chuck. Y'all are disrespectful to me. Y'all don't answer my phone calls when I need to talk to y'all about something important.
Well, Brandon, you kind of ruined that for you because you call at 6 o'clock in the morning or you call at 2 o'clock at night. I will tell you the last time you called me, it was neither of those times, but I was in bed and I turn off my ringer when I go into bed. So I did
We
not
had just talked 10 minutes before that, and I called you. I felt like it'd be a good time to call.
No. You're right. But I literally,
Okay.
like my ringer was already off. So when I got into bed and I put my phone on the little charger, I did not see your call, but I called you the next day and I didn't call too early because I knew you wouldn't answer, but I did call you at like 9 a.m. or 10 a.m. I called you back.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And then I called you again. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's
Oh,
not
that's good.
That's not bad phone etiquette. I just missed your call. I was going to bed.
Okay. Well, yeah. Usually a text like, hey, can't talk right now.
I literally didn't even see that you called. Like my
Oh.
watch is off my phone. My phone is on the charger. I've shut it off. I'm off the grid.
What if I had like, I don't know, John Bon Jovi next to me? I was like, let me call Jason, see if he wants to do a podcast real quick. But he ain't answering. I guess it's a no-go, man. Sorry about it.
The only people that can reach me after my phone is off the hook is my daughter and my son because they'll call their mother. Now, Rach keeps her ring. I mean, if you
I
really
just
need
call
to
Rachel.
if you really need to get a hold of me, just call Rachel at that time.
I'll be honest, Brandon, whenever I see your call coming in, I look at it and then I make a mental decision. Like, am I ready? Like, am I prepared to jump into this, whatever it is? And 80% of the time I say, yeah. So I don't think that's bad etiquette.
It's usually pretty good.
Always late. It's always late. And then I answer, and sure enough, first thing you say is like, "Hey, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm ready." So
Brandon is the type. Brandon is a lot like how I used to be, and I don't fault it. I think that's good. I think it's a good thing. Is Brandon calls, not text, which I like, when he has an idea.
Yeah, because I can't. If I text, I can't get my idea. I can't express it the way I want to, and I can't get it out the right way. And then, like, if I try to put it all in one text message, usually it gets a little, discombobulated and communication's a little messed up.
I agree. I mean, how many times have you called me and I've stepped away from the poker table to talk to you? So I don't have bad phone etiquette. Right?
Okay, a couple times, yeah.
Right, exactly. I see that Brandon's calling. If I can't get it, I'm in the middle of the hand. I play my hand. I take a break. I get up. Brandon's calling. I got to call him back. So I do not have bad phone etiquette.
So when you said, can you guess who has bad phone etiquette? You are essentially removing yourself as a possibility.
Yes, I do not.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
So now it's between me and Brandon who has bad phone etiquette.
Correct. Yes. We're narrowing this down. Very difficult.
He's targeting us.
I promise you he's going to say
Target
me.
lock.
And it's not accurate, but he's going to say me. And I think I know why.
Did you do something bad, Chuck? Oh, it's Chuck. Wow. Out of left field. Damn. I thought it was me.
I know what it is, but go ahead. Go ahead. Tell your side of the events.
Chuck just won the Who Has Bad Phone Etiquette game on the BS podcast.
He's coming up. He's sounding guilty, though, Chuck. Why you sounded guilty?
I'm not. I'm not guilty. I just know exactly what he's talking about, and I have a response for it. But I want to get his side of the story.
Well, my side's correct, but I would love to hear what you think that I'm going to say or what you think that I'm referring to.
Okay, so you called me. God, it was almost a week ago. Like a week ago, you called me, and I was working. And I did not have my phone with me. So I get in the truck and I see missed call from you. So I texted you and I said, did you call me? Which also can be interpreted as
dumb question.
What's up? Do you need something serious? Are you in a injury or a accident or something? I mean, me saying, did you call me is the same thing as, hey, what do you need? I can't talk. Either way, you responded, yes.
Yes.
So I let it hang.
And then you called him?
No, it's just been hanging for about a week. It's been hanging, but that's not because he can call me back. Like I'm okay. I'm here now. What do you need?
So Chuck is, I've got a couple people in my life that are like Chuck. Chuck is a big league phone guy. He likes to big league you. So he won't answer and he'll text back with the stupid shit like, did you call? Well, You just admit it. Yes, of course I called. It says missed call.
But you can butt dial. I get a lot of butt dials, and then I'll text people, "Hey,
Okay.
did you call me?" And they say, "No, I didn't call you on
Fair-
purpose."
fair-
Because most
fair-
people don't call. It's 2024.
Fair. Yeah, it's crazy to use a phone. So fair enough. You asked the question because there is that very small possibility that I butt dialed you, which I don't think I've ever done. So I answered your question. Yes. Then you just said, well, I could call back. Why? The ball's in your court. I called you. So now
Oh my God.
your job, this is how it works. These aren't my rules. These are the universe's rules.
No, these are women rules. Like who? I said you can call back, and you didn't.
No, you never said that. You just asked if I called. And
This
then
is different now. Did you say he can call back? Or did he just say yes and then you didn't answer? You didn't respond after that? Because look, now I know if
Okay, no, do a boom, boom, boom. Okay. I said, you called, ? He said, I did. And then I said, what's up? And he never responded.
see that.
Go ahead.
Okay. All right. So that problem, I've done it before, Chuck. He's called me and I've texted him a while later and I said, what's up? And then it's not good. It's not good. You know why? Because if Jason fucking calls you and you text him, he wants you to talk on the fucking phone and you better call him on the fucking phone. Don't text him. He didn't text you. He called you. So why are you texting him? You better talk to him on the fucking phone. That's how I learned the hard way. And that is, it's rough. It's rough. All right. And then the first 10 minutes while he's talking to you on the phone, he's bitching at you about why you didn't call him earlier and why you texted him instead of calling him. That part, that part, yeah, he's a little crazy on.
Don't do
no,
this.
but that part, he's a little crazy on. But the second part, see, when you just said yes, I didn't know he responded. So I don't know who should have called who.
I said, what's up?
I called him. I did.
You called him after the what's up?
No.
Okay.
God, no.
See,
no.
now if you would have called him after that, he would have bitched you out.
No, he was baiting me. Like I'd say, what's up? He didn't answer on purpose. I'm thinking, well, crap, there must be an emergency. Like maybe he's getting mugged. Maybe he's getting beat up. Maybe I should call him. But then I thought again, and I was like, he wants me to call him. He's baiting me to call him.
I called you, you dumbass. Of course I want.
When I said, what's up? You wouldn't call me.
That's not how this works.
You called me. I'm giving you the opportunity to call me back.
That's not how this works, you moron. You call somebody and you call them back. It's very simple. You're such a woman.
If I call you because I need something and you don't answer and I say, hey, man, what's up? And you say, hey, what's up? Sorry, I missed your call. I'm going to call you back again.
Personally, whenever I call Chuck and he doesn't answer and then he'll text me, he'll be, yo, what up? Usually I'll call him immediately after that because I know he's with his phone. And if you don't answer me, then again, I'm like, what the fuck? Because sometimes he does that. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
Okay, well, that's not how this works. And I'm not going to play Chuck's little phone games with him. I was calling him as a courtesy. I was going to tell him about Podcast and Pours 4, how we're adding the female artist. I was going to ask him for any ideas and any suggestions. It's called brainstorming.
No, you weren't.
That's exactly why I was calling you. That's the only reason why I was calling you. That is the only reason I was calling you, because I was trying to be polite and say, hey, look, I've got this female artist, Riley Risa, who we played on yesterday's episode. I'll play her song that she's going to be doing at Podcast and Pours 4. It's really amazing. I should probably chop this up a little bit, get rid of the intro. But she produced all this, I think.
I dedicate this song to you. After all you've got me through, and even though you'll have no clue, little moments like this come with great value.
Is she coming on? Is she coming on the podcast or what?
Yeah, we'll get her on the podcast.
Oh, okay.
We'll
but I will say, in Chuck's defense, when you call me sometimes and I don't answer for a couple hours, I'll be dreading it. I'll be like, oh my God, he's He's so angry at me. He's gonna be so mad. Not as much now as I used to be back in the radio. Like, because if he calls you, you can call him back 15 minutes later. He's like, "What the fuck are you doing? Why didn't you answer my call?" I'll be like, "Well, I just had to take a shower, massa. I'm sorry, massa. I had to take a shower."
Have I ever said that to you, Chuck? Have I, when you called me back, have I ever said, why the fuck did you pick up?
No.
Okay. Now I did. Now, to be fair, I did say that to my best friend the other day. I tried to call him. He did not pick up. He's the only person in my life that I leave a message for because it goes back to when we were in high school. It's kind of a joke. And I text him afterwards and I said, dude, look, you're not working. The fuck didn't you pick up your phone? I'm trying to make you money. And he calls me right back, of course, because then I baited him. I teased him with, and I got him a nice gig. Story of my life. I'm always doing stuff for other people and never to get stuff in return. But so, I did say that to him. I've never said that to Chuck. I was literally calling you to brainstorm an idea and be courteous, professionally courteous of adding this female to Podcast and Pours for Saturday, December 14th with Saliva headlining a special acoustic show and Distinct Grace going up beforehand. And I now want to add some gimmicks to the show. And I've run across this extremely talented young lady, and she's agreed to perform a couple songs. She's got her own original Christmas song that she's going to get to me here probably for next week's shows. And I was like, well, we can send her up with Chuck. They've got a band that can do anything. It'll be great. It'll be fun. The listeners will love it. We're just adding an extra thing. He's in charge of Distinct Grace. Boom. That's
now I'm on Chuck's side. I got to compete with this hot chick for a Christmas song. Yeah, Chuck, don't call him back no more. He's replacing my gimmick with this chick. Can I not do a duet with her, or is she just taking over my bit?
No, you're part of it, man. You're
okay. All right.
You're an extra. See, we've got it. You always need more than what you offer, right? I mean, look at Podcast and Pours 3. Podcast and Pours 3, Distinct Grace did an even better than great job, but people were really excited to see Brandon go up there and do Bradley's in a Cadillac. It's the gimmick.
Yeah. Well, you say we always need more when we do stuff, and then we talk about the North Sentinel Island stuff, and you're like, we don't need more, we need less.
Yeah, well, you do. In that situation, it depends. It's case by case basis.
You're hurting my back. My back's hurting.
And let's be honest, Brandon.
My back's hurting.
Again, this is you. You come up with a lot of ideas, which I love, but how many actually come to fruition? I mean,
Well, all right. Well, maybe I just stop telling you my ideas, because then you're like, all right, well, they're not bad, and then you're like, well, none of them actually come true. But I got the sponsor guy. I just ain't told y'all about it yet.
Yeah, you did. You told me about him.
I told about that part, but I didn't tell you when I talked to him again.
Oh, okay.
You told me the other night when you don't remember talking to me.
No, I didn't. No, I didn't tell you nothing about what he said.
Yeah, you did.
Not the second part. No, not since I talked to him again.
All right. Well, anyway, we'll talk again.
You get it in writing, and we're rocking and rolling. And look, I've been talking about the North Sentinel Island bit. You just haven't given, other than the possible sponsor guy, I don't have any more updates. You haven't bought plane tickets. Chuck's not going. I'm telling you that right now. Megan's not going to let him go.
Chuck's going, baby.
She's good, man. Yeah, we already talked about it.
Tim's not going to go. I can tell you that.
No, Tim will go.
You guys are going to fly 36 hours to go to an island of flesh-eating, people-eating cannibals.
No, man. I mean,
why are you hating on it so much?
Ever since I turned 18, man, I've been traveling the world, and there's places in Africa, Somalia, places that I never want to go back to. I mean, I remember. Yeah, definitely. Chicago. God, that place is rough. But no, this is nothing. This is something easy. Now, if Brandon was like, hey, we kind of got to go to this location in Yemen or Sudan,
Bosnia,
I'd be a little concerned. Yeah, like, really want to go to Ukraine. I'd be like, I don't want this one-way ticket to death. But
right, this territory.
I've done my research, and it's actually got some nice locations. I'm just concerned about the boat.
I'm thinking this whole North Sentinel Island thing it's kind of like if you've ever lived on the water, you go out on a buddy's boat and you go out and you're like, yeah, if you look, in the distance, you can see. Right. It's like, like Johnny Depp owns that island in the Bahamas. As you don't get close enough to go on the island, or that you're way farther than a stone's throw away, but you can see it from a distance. It's like, yeah, you can't go near it, but that's where it happens. That's kind of the vibe that I get from this place. After Hari came on and explained it, and it's like, you guys can boat around and you might get a glimpse of them every once in a while if you're out there long enough, like waiting for the leopard at the zoo. Like cue the leopard.
That's why we got the drone. You know, the drone can fly. The drone flies and it gets close to islands.
Well, and you got to stay overnight so you can see their campfires.
That'd be cool. We can do it. Follow me.
Smart. That's smart. That's really smart.
Then we know where they live.
Yeah. Once you see the campfires, it's on. Then we know where to actually project the music.
Yeah. What if you're out there like late at night and they have all these like dance lights on? And
I know. You know how pissed we would be. It's like, and they're all out there singing.
They got their own music,
and you're like, all I do is win, no matter what. And you're like, what? Like we're late. We missed it.
They got it already.
You see this giant signs like North Sentinel Island East. It's like, sandals. There's a version of sandals that they have.
I would be pissed at Brandon. Now I would be pissed.
Speaking of phone etiquette, neither one of y'all answered my text the other night in the group chat about we need to go record at the Stanley Hotel.
I don't know what that means.
I don't.
You know what the Stanley Hotel is?
Is that the one in LA?
No. Have you ever seen the movie The Shining?
Oh yeah.
That's that hotel, and apparently it's actually haunted. People have died in there for real.
No, I can
use it. You can go there.
If we started doing shows like this from haunted locations and we could
that'd be fun.
That would be fun. And
the Stanley Hotel, everybody knows it. I don't think anybody's done a podcast in it. It's in Colorado. It's in the States. I mean, when was the last time you heard a podcast do one at the Stanley Hotel?
I'm sure somebody's done there. I mean, dude, like we don't have to go there. There's a place here in Orlando in Apopka that we didn't do a radio show there, but we stayed the night, got audio and stuff. It's a house. And the story is back in whatever day, the woman took a shotgun and blew the dude away, like at the top of the steps and stuff. And now I don't know what it is now, but at the time it was like a bed and breakfast restaurant-y type of place. And the people that have worked there have got a million stories of it being haunted. And it's actually on the list of one of the most haunted places in the United States.
We should do that. Just do a podcast in all the haunted places. Just move around.
Yeah, there's podcasts that do that. I mean, there's plenty of, ghost hunting podcasts and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, well, we're not hunting them. We're just hanging out with them.
We got to make ourselves different. We're the hanging out with the ghost podcast.
We ain't searching. We ain't hunting them. We're like, man, y'all come hang out if you want, man. We ain't hunting you.
Well, we can let them know that if we're recording, we pick up any sounds, we'll edit those out and post. That way, nobody will know.
Unless they sign an NDA. Yeah.
Yeah.
We got to get one of those spirit boxes. Seen those?
No, is that from Ghostbusters or something?
No, they're big with the younger generation right now. You get them on Amazon. They're readers. They're like
frequency readers.
Frequency readers, yeah. My daughter's got one, yeah.
What?
Oh, yeah. It reads the frequency because everything's on a frequency, sounds on a frequency. So
yeah,
that's how you hear the dead. The dead's on a frequency.
Oh, I thought Ouija boards. That's what they were for.
That's the old man stuff.
That's talking. That's different.
Now it's Amazon spirit boxes.
Yeah.
Amazon took over Ouija boards.
Yeah, dude, you're so outdated. You're sitting there trying to ask questions on a board game when these kids now are going to Amazon buying spirit boxes and finding the, ghost of Jimmy Hoffa.
How much are they? Are they expensive?
No,
they're just
$20 or something.
They're just like an FM reader. Basically, they're just a radio that picks up whatever frequency around you.
Do they actually pick up anything?
Yeah, if you go to, take what you believe, but you can go to a graveyard and sort through them, and you can hear things that sound, like people like English or language.
Shut up.
No, I swear to God.
There's no way spirits are hanging out in the graveyard. Why would you hang out at the graveyard if you're a spirit?
Because they haven't passed over. That's how it happens, man. If they get buried there.
If I'm stuck on Earth and I'm a spirit, I'm not going to be like, oh, I'm going to hang out here at the grave. I'm going to go, I don't know, strip clubs or something.
Oh, man, you got ties to it. You're trying to leave. You're trying to go to the either underworld or you're trying to go to heaven. You're in purgatory. You're stuck, man. You're like, fuck, I'm just waiting on the bus.
I got to tell you, Chuck kind of does make sense.
I'm not going to hang out. I don't like hanging out there when I'm alive. Why would I hang out there when I'm dead?
It's like,
you're stuck there.
Why are you stuck at where you're buried? Why aren't you going somewhere else?
I'm out, man.
It's like the bus station.
Yeah.
Just like it, Brandon. Just like it. So anyway, back to the phone call thing. Don't
Phone
ever
call.
don't ever text me after I call you, what's up? That drives me insane. It's the dumbest thing ever. There's a reason why I called you. If anything, text me and say, hey dude, can't talk right now, I'll buzz you later.
That's what that means.
No. I don't, my job is not to decipher the way you're thinking. This is why
What's
you're a
up?
woman.
I'm having flashbacks.
What's up is universally accepted as meaning, what do you need?
Chuck, that's exactly what I thought. I thought that too. Till he had this conversation with me and we weren't on air. It was a lot more brutal.
No. I don't disagree with you that what's up means what do you need? I don't disagree with you at all. But I'm calling you because I'm not, if I wanted to tell you via text, I would have never called you in the first place.
Yeah, usually it's hard, man, because if you're trying to, like, especially if you're in a situation where you can't answer your phone and you know you're going to be in a situation like me, I'm around chippers and chainsaws and all day. So I can't, there's no way I can talk
Loud noises.
because it's so loud. So I text like, hey dude, what's up?
Okay.
And that way people know I'm not blowing them off. And I do see that they called or whatever. And but
I'm calling if there's an idea that I can't say, because now if I were to text you what I needed to say, then it would have come across as rude because I wouldn't have I don't want to go back and forth on a text about this. It's going to happen one way or the other, but I'm just trying to let you in for your input of how it's going to happen. So there's a difference if I'm texting you, go, hey, I'm just letting you know I'm adding this woman to Podcast Imports 4. Then your question is, who is it? What is she going to do? All these questions. So now I'm sitting there texting with you. I don't have time for that. Getting on the phone for 5 minutes and saying, hey, dude, this is cool, blah, 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 blah. And then afterwards saying, hey, I'll text you a link to her social media. How about that?
The only thing I would have a question about and what I would need, because, a band, especially the way we do it, I mean, we practice more than we probably even need to, but we put in about 10 hours a week for practice to make sure a show is exactly the way it needs to go and that there's no issues, whatever. So that'd be the only thing. Like, hey, if she's going to be performing, then that probably lessens our time, which means we can then stop trying to work on certain music. Yeah. And so that'd be my question.
And that would be a great conversation over the phone to have, but via text, not so much.
Well, look, I think the way we could have resolved this is Jason's like, oh, fuck you. You're going to text me with what up? Because he hates that. When you call me and text him with a what up, he fucking hates it. But I think Jason probably should have said, call me when you can.
That would have made
call me ASAP. Call me ASAP would have been quick. Call me ASAP. 3 words. It would have been quick.
Well, it's 2 words in an acronym, but
but it comes out as 3 words.
Yeah, it's more than 6 words.
It's 3 that you got to type.
No, it's still 6 words.
But just to call me ASAP. If I see that, I'm like, oh, it's important. I would call you as soon as possible.
I'm calling you. It's obviously important. I'm calling you. That goes for anybody. Somebody calls you.
Only call people when it's important.
Only. I never.
Sometimes I just call like, what's Bailey or Chuck doing? Like, let me tell them an idea. Like, and you know what happens when you don't answer me? Then I forget the idea. I'm like, I don't know why you called. I don't know why I called you.
You do. I don't. Most guys don't call just to, hey man, how's your day going? What's good? I mean,
I don't do that. I throw an idea in there that's kind of cool. And then when you don't answer me, I'm like, oh shit. I was like, wasn't that important? But if I knew you weren't going to answer, I would have wrote it down.
But that is important. If you have an idea and you're calling because you have an idea, that to me is important. So yeah, I mean, you're not calling just say, hey Chuck, how's it going today? The weather's beautiful. What are you doing? How you feeling? Everything good with the kids? The guys don't do that. Women do. Guys don't. No guy calls us to say, hey, what's up, man? How are you? Nobody does that unless it's family.
No. Or they're gay.
Oh God.
There we go. Brandon and his anti-gay speech.
Well, you're inferring it that's gay to do for a dude to do that.
No, I'm saying it's not normal for a guy to do.
And being gay is not normal either. So we're on the same page.
And I'm working on a lot of stuff, and and I need, and some things cannot be done via text. Like I'm working on getting us out to do the show for 4 days at Welcome to Rockville. That the lineup was just announced in Daytona Beach at the Daytona Beach Speedway, which is like 20 minutes from my house. And this lineup is probably the best concert lineup I've ever seen.
Are we all going to sleep in a tent together?
No, actually, that was not the only thing I was calling you about, Chuck. The other thing I was calling you about was your buddy that you've mentioned a couple times that owns the RV place.
Oh yeah, Matt.
Yes. Okay. So
yeah.
we would need. Oh yeah, Matt. We would need an RV for this, and because we would camp out there for 4 days.
Do we need a recreational vehicle or a camper?
Hold on. Us three are going to camp out?
Yes.
Yeah.
Just us three?
Yes.
We'll bring some women over there.
Oh, no.
No.
Why would you even say that?
Oh, well, I'm just kidding. Rachel, Megan, that's just a joke.
And you're not bringing any women anyway.
Once they see we're performing, they are.
Oh, we're performing?
Yeah, we're right before Lincoln Park, by the way. No, but I'm working on this now, and it looks pretty good. Now, I know that Danny Wimmer, who's the promoter, there's a lot of restrictions on who he lets in and all that kind of stuff. And I learned that at Aftershock in California. But in conjunction with WJRR, we are with the radio station, so we should be able to do these types of things. But that would be pretty cool. And just for us to record shows while we're out there, especially if we were able to get access to any of the artists. I mean, have you guys seen the lineup?
No.
For Welcome to Rockville? Oh my God. The first night, which is Thursday, goes Thursday to Sunday. You have headlining Shinedown, Three Doors Down, Hailstorm. That's one stage. Theory of a Dead Man, Blue October, Evans Blue, Royale Lynn, who I'm not familiar with. Another stage is Rob Zombie, 3 Days Grace, and Trivium. Also Crossfade, Finger 11, Saving Abel, Smile Empty Soul. I mean, you're talking about every band from the early 2000s, right? Bullet for My Valentine, Asking Alexandra, From Ashes to New. I'm just going through Body Count, Guar, Exodus, the Dillinger Escape Plan, Quicksand, Converge, Candy, Big Ass Truck. I mean, so that's Thursday, and I didn't even name them all. And then you've got Friday's show with Green Day, Alice in Chains, Jimmy Eat World, Newfound Glory, Bowling for Soup, Lit, Red Jumpsuit Apparatus, Good Charlotte, Sublime Bush, Candlebox, Everclear, Dorothy, Killswitch Engage, August Burns Red, As I Lay Dying, All That Remains, Under Oath, Devil Wears Prada. That's Friday. And again, not all the bands. Saturday, Lincoln Park, Incubus, Beartooth, Taking Back Sunday, POD, Hoobastank, Pierce the Veil, I Prevail, Hollywood Undead. That's literally one of my favorite bands. Mastodon. There's a Blurred Out band, so I guess they're going to announce that at a later date.
Distinct Grace.
Is that what that is? Distinct Grace?
Big reveal right here.
Sunday, you have Korn, Marilyn Manson, Chevelle, Daltrey, Filter, Snot, Bad Omens, Mudvayne, Seven Dust, Testament, Hawthorne Heights. Yeah. So there's just I mean,
so how does a festival? Because I've been to some festivals, and I mean there was good bands, but that list is just stupid,
ridiculous. How
do they even raise enough money? Are some of these bands doing it for like peanuts on the dollar or what?
I'm sure the baby bands are, but there's Wimmer's got a lot of. I mean, there's a lot of. Have you ever seen the Aftershock lineup? I mean, he just had Iron Maiden and Motley Crue. I mean, it's pretty sick.
How many people you talking? Like 100,000?
Oh, for 4 days, yeah. Hundreds of thousands.
Oh, okay, yeah. There's money to go around.
Hundreds. I mean, think about the concert climate that we're in now. I mean, it's almost like you have to do this in order to get people out to a concert. The one-off concerts are very tough sells. Pete from Bret Michaels' band was telling us that, Bret Michaels is a draw. Everywhere he goes, he sells out. And I've seen that. I've seen Bret a million different times in different markets, and every single time he's sold out because people love Bret Michaels. They love Poison. They love that Bret has not changed a bit in any aspect from what they remember from the 80s. So they want to see that and relive that. And they can do that over and over and over again. But the day and age of buying tickets early is kind of gone. So people are doing walk-ups unless you have something like this.
Well, also, I mean, it's like you got a band like Linkin Park. What's it like a normal show? What are they costing? Like $100 a ticket for a Linkin Park show, 50, something like that. But
Depends what
then
they
you can
said.
get, well, then I know, then you got like a, like a Music Midtown where you can pay 200, 250, which sounds like this kind of event kind of is like a 4-day or a 3-day weekend where you got all these bands. So it's kind of like you pay 250 and you could see, 10 different bands, over 3 days or 15 bands. It's just kind of a little more bang for your buck. And I think people are like, all right, if I'm not feeling this band, I can walk over here. I can go back here. I can move around. So I think it's in the best interest of all the bands, and they're not having to play as long as they really would for a normal show.
Well, they still play for like an hour and a half.
It all depends on what, like the headliners will get a lot of time.
Because what I'm afraid of is, did you say Guar's on there?
Guar is on one of the stages on Thursday night, the first night.
That's a really weird group of people that go and see Guar.
So I've experienced this type of event with Aftershock when I was in California. Again, Danny Wimmer's the promoter, right? So it's actually really cool how he has it set up, and where the stages are all within fairly, decent walking distance. So like, let's say Thursday night, for example, you have the main headliner of the night. The last band to play will be Shinedown on whatever that main stage is going to be called. So this stage, which will take you 5-ish minutes to walk over, has got Rob Zombie just finishing up. So you'll see this wave of people go from that stage to this stage, unless you're a diehard Shinedown fan and you've been at that stage all day, because you could literally live at that stage with those bands of Shinedown, Three Doors, Hailstorm, Theory of a Dead Man, Blue October, Evans Blue, Royale Lynn. That in itself is a great concert. Even if you were just to hang out at that stage. I love Shinedown, don't get me wrong. I love Three Doors and Hailstorm and all that stuff, but I love Rob Zombie. Rob Zombie has one of the best live stage performances that you will ever see. And now you got 3 Days Grace. They brought Adam back, so that's exciting for 3 Days Grace fans with their original lead singer. Trivium, which I believe Trivium's a Florida band too. They're great, fairly heavy. So it's going to be cool. Anyway, my point is that was one of the other things I was calling you about, is that, we would need a camper, and because we would, I'm assuming we would, unless the radio station is going to provide it, but they might even need a camper. So that could get your buddy some free advertising.
Yeah. The only problem is it's in Atlanta, so we got to drive it all the way down there.
Oh, damn. Yeah.
It's not that.
I don't want to drive a camper.
Well,
I'm not driving. I'm riding with Chuck.
Have somebody drive it down.
We need a driver. Yeah, I don't trust myself with an RV. I drove a chipper truck one time. I almost killed people.
Sure, you can do it.
Left the chipper on. People about to drive in the back of it.
Dude, it's bad.
What's the best concert lineup you've ever gone to?
Well, I mean, so I'm a punk rock fan. So I went to Shamrock Fest in Washington, D.C. back in like 2018-ish, 17, whatever. And it was like Dropkick Murphys, Flogging Molly. What was the other bands that were there? It was a bunch of good Celtic bands that I just love. And so that was the best. But again, I couldn't even get Megan to go to it. I mean, she was like, I like Dropkick Murphys, but I don't know any of the other bands. And I'm like, dude, these like Rancid, just, it was a good lineup. Nothing like that. I've never been to anything like that. I mean, I'm talking maybe 8 bands one day.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think these bands have to get, they have to get creative. Next year, Linkin Park announced their big tour that they're actually already on, but they announced the North American leg of their tour. This is the only date in the Southeast. There's one other place in the Southeast, but in this first leg, they're not doing like the Orlandos and the Tampas and the Miamis. I don't even think Atlanta was on there. So you get to see Linkin Park. Obviously that's why they're on this tour, because they don't need to. People will come from far and wide. I mean, people are going to travel from all over the world for this concert. I mean, that's what kind of concert this is to be able to do that. I always go back, in the day, my day at WJRR, I've always said, and I always will, I'll fly the Earth Day birthday flag. The Earth Day birthday was at one time the largest outdoor concert in Florida. And then all these other, Welcome to Rockville came and all these other things, and times have changed and money's changed and corporate world has changed and radio's obviously changed. But my time at WJRR, when, you know, I was either afternoons or nights or whatever I did, I couldn't wait to get up in the morning, drive to the location way before gates, right? Have my backpack with all my stuff and spend the entire day there. And, you know, you're interviewing all these artists, you're going up on stage, you're walking around. It was always my favorite time of year. It was so awesome. The weather was good, a little hot sometimes because it was April, May, but that was always my favorite show. And you'd always have you know, so many different bands, numerous stages, and all that kind of stuff. Now, outside of that, I always bring up this, and I always forget the opening band, and somebody usually has to Google the show and they find it. But it was this odd circus-like show that was at the Hard Rock Live in Orlando, and it was Counting Crows headlining, so to speak, and Michael Franti and Spearhead, who's a Sacramento guy. He's an amazing artist, but he's very, you know, kind of hippie, reggae-ish top 40. And then the opening band, which was, again, they're a thing, and I always forget their name, but they're kind of like the Fray, that type of band. But when we went to the show, everybody's stuff was set up at one time. So they would intermingle and interchange. Like Adam Derwitz would come out with Michael Franti. Michael Franti would come out with Adam Derwitz. The guys at the, so it wasn't your typical start, middle, end type of show. It was like it was an orgy of music. It was really, really cool. Really, really cool. And I'm sitting there and I'm watching this, and this was in probably 2000, early 2000 something. I'm going, they need to do more of these. Like, they need to have shows, because everybody likes collaborations. Everybody likes when another artist comes out and does a song with them. I've never met one person that's never loved that. You know, it's the wrestling run-in effect. Well, so that was probably cool.
You had me at Hailstorm. Lizzie Hale, come on, man.
Hot.
Yeah.
Hot.
It's just everything. I mean, talented, beautiful. That girl, she's got it going on.
But these bands like love Lit. I'm going to try to get those guys on the podcast. You know, I got to meet them actually in Georgia before I left to move to California. I got to know those guys pretty well. And so like their live shows are amazing.
Did you ever interview Rob Zombie when you were on the radio?
Oh, tons.
Is he weird?
No, he's one of the most educated, nicest, sweetest men you could ever possibly meet. You look at his stage show and you think he's this demon loving freak. He's so articulate and so sweet and so amazingly brilliant.
I say he wasn't very nice in The Devil's Rejects.
Yeah.
Know that much.
I'm afraid of him. I mean, he's one of those.
He scared me in that movie. I thought he was going to shoot me or put his gun in my pussy. One of the two.
Do you have a pussy?
Him and Alice Cooper.
If I had one, he put it there.
Alice Cooper. Alice Cooper is the other one. I always say one of the most smartest, most articulate men, sweetest guys you could ever possibly meet. I've interviewed him a bunch.
He does a good stage show too. I remember seeing him twice.
Amazing stage show. Even today. So I saw him not that long ago. Absolutely amazing stage. It's funny, like a lot of these guys, based off of their persona on stage, you know, the Rob Zombies and stuff, the fans think one thing. And that's what I've always tried to do when I've interviewed these guys, is try to get the real person, you know, and a lot of times they want to be that real person. Like a Marilyn Manson lives the gimmick, you know, and when I interviewed him, he was the gimmick. He was Marilyn Manson. But I remember early in my rock career, when I started, I was warned about Jonathan Taylor, right? From Korn. Right?
Yeah.
That
was right.
What do you mean you were warned about him?
Was this before they came out of? Oh no, Korn. Never mind. I'm thinking Slipknot. Never mind. Continue.
Korn's the one who had the was it lead guitar player?
Jonathan Davis, not Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor's the running back. What? Say it again.
Korn's the one who had the lead guitarist that had the dreadlocks that became a pastor.
Yeah, Brian Head.
Yeah. So what were you? What were you warned about with the lead singer?
That he was a rough interview. That he was tough. That he's not gonna answer my questions. He's kind of a dick. You know, this was years ago, big into porn, all that kind of stuff. He was just going to be.
You were?
No, he was very,
Oh.
very difficult, very awkward. He's the sweetest guy, nicest guy. I had the greatest conversations with him. I mean, he's not over the top charismatic, but just the nicest guy in the world. But when you get Korn up on stage and Jonathan Davis, someone say, the dude's a madman, like a madman. Like you look at him and go, holy shit, that guy's going to bite my face off. But in real life, he's not. That's his style of music. I mean, that's just
watch good old lesbian porn together, man.
That's a good bonding. That's a weird pull, man. Like I've never heard what's that guy like? He's a real jerk. He likes porn.
A lot of it.
I didn't say that.
A lot of porn. You don't want to talk to that dude. He's nuts.
No, it was like at the time, there was something about porn, like he was like his girlfriend or something, or his wife was in it, or it was like one of those kind of questions that you weren't supposed to go there with. And I did, because why wouldn't I? And he was cool about it. He was talking about it. And it's funny because he just diffused it. He was like, yeah, so who doesn't watch porn? Like, yeah. I was like, you're right. You're right. Amen to you, brother. Well, my job was to ask the question. So anyway, this lineup is sick. And I was just looking at it. I'm going, God, maybe my day and age of being outside for 4 days for a festival are kind of gone. Aftershock was a lot, when we were at Aftershock. But I think that like a show like this, if you don't go, as long as you have to like the music, obviously, but if you don't go, you're missing out on a piece of musical history. Like all these bands at one time. I mean, this is a story for the ages to tell.
Yeah. And now we can't go because Chuck wouldn't answer the damn phone.
Shut up.
He canceled the whole thing. He said, we can't do it.
It's not off the table. I just have two questions. And Brandon, I know you have the same question, so this is going to cover both. One,
yes,
we can't be in the crowd. Is it possible for us to be backstage for all of the performances?
You and your fucking backstage.
No,
I'll be in the crowd.
No, I don't want to be in that crowd. Are you kidding? Dude, I'm 45. I can't be in that crowd.
Have you ever been to Daytona 500?
Yeah.
You've been?
Well, I've been to the track. I've done a tour of the track.
Okay. You know how big that place is? You'll be fine. Okay.
Well, that's one question. I just need a safe space. Maybe like a handicap spot. You put me just so people can't bump into me. And two, are we doing interviews? Or are we just going to fans?
Did you miss any part of that?
Oh, no, I heard we're doing the podcast. But I mean, are we doing interviews? Or are we just going to go back to our RV and talk about it?
Why would we stay in the RV if Jason lives 20 minutes away? We're going to talk to people in the RV.
You can't leave the venue, dude. It's part of the whole thing.
I mean, I'm down for that too, but do you think Jason's going to sleep in an RV when his house is 20 minutes away if we're not doing interviews in the RV?
Brandon, did you hear anything that I said?
No, I guess not. I don't know.
I mean,
might have blacked out.
Are you guys just fucking stupid or what?
Well, Brandon's drink. If Brandon puts his camera down, I don't know if you noticed, it's a bunch of Bud Light tall boys lined up. Like, dude, it is.
No, we got the RV so we can stay out there and we're going to interview people in the RV, right?
I don't think we're doing it in the RV.
Oh my God, both of you shut up. I'd prefer just stop breathing if you possible. Like, if you have a knife, maybe pills, rope, something. Just end it, please. Just end it.
Just tell him we're not doing it in the RV.
But we're doing interviews and we're having an RV.
We're sleeping there for 4 days. We're
doing interviews.
Shut up. We're sleeping there for 4 days in the RV. That was the whole point of me trying to talk to Chuck to get the RV. Is because we're staying there. They're not going to let us leave. So we're staying there. If everything works out, and this is still just we're throwing it out there. If everything works out, yes, we would be able to talk to the artists.
Where are we set up at, though?
That I don't know yet.
Probably the RV, man. Like bussing with the boys. You see them? They drive a bus and they do the interviews in the RV.
Hey, Lincoln Park. Yeah, come to Lot C, Spot 7. We have a studio set up in an RV that we're borrowing from a place in Georgia. That
Well, see, I imagine
we can't spill a drop of anything because we don't want to pay for it. So please just come to our parking spot. It's in the handicap sections. We have plenty of room. I'm sure they'll be fine with it. You're stupid.
I imagine us like part with all the buses, like the tour buses, is how I imagine. We part with them.
Oh yeah. We're gonna be
No, come to our bus over here.
Yeah. Rob Zombie on the right, Hailstorm on the left, and then we're in the middle.
WJR with the Bailey Show crew inside right here. That's what I figured.
Me getting
That's
yelled
what I
at.
imagine. I imagine that.
Every time I go to the bathroom backstage, Jason's like, "Oh, here goes Chuck backstage again. He's stupid." And I'm like, "I'm already crap my pants. I got to go to the bathroom."
Hey, Green Day, we're in the RV with the little grill out front with the hot dogs on it. If you could make your way through the 200,000 people and just come over so we can talk to you for a fucking podcast. With
nobody will
Follow
recognize
the hot dog smell.
Nobody's gonna recognize Billy Joe Armstrong.
Yeah, nobody. If you could wear a hat and some sunglasses, please. Don't worry, I'm gonna have my friend Brandon escort you over. If you could meet at Gate EE, that'd be nice.
Hey everybody, we got Green Day over here. Oh my God,
we're having them on a podcast.
No, Brandon's gonna be like, I don't even know the fuck Green Day is. I don't know.
I love Green Day. It's a good one. The one I do know.
But the problem is if we get somebody you don't know, like Candlebox. Probably.
Yeah, we got candle matches over here. They're coming over here coming on the podcast.
God,
so embarrassing, for them not to know.
Yeah, you gotta send Chuck on those.
Well, I'll pan out on Candlebox.
No, but that was part of the phone call. I mean, I wanted to talk to you about it.
Well, this was a big conversation.
Right. Yeah, it was. I'm glad we had it.
See,
next time I say what up, call me.
I did.
Not after I said what up.
I shouldn't have to. And I won't ever. And I'm not leaving you a message. When I call you and it says missed call, that means I try to fucking call you.
You know what the problem is, man, is I do not have. I do not.
Fuck. That's what the problem is. You are a big league fuck. That's
I don't have FOMO, dude. So like when people call me and I miss your call, I don't go, oh my God, what is it? What is it? I just go, oh, well, I guess it wasn't important. You didn't text me.
Whatever it was, I'm not a part of it anymore. It's done and dead.
You're gonna be off North Sentinel Island all alone. And I'll be like, what the hell? Why is Brandon there without me? And you're gonna be like, Chuck wouldn't answer his phone. I called him at 1 a.m. Jerk.
This is
said a flight's tomorrow, man. Come on.
I'm a big fan of holding people accountable, especially for stupid shit. So this just opens the door for you to learn a very valuable lesson. And I will teach it to you. So you will see in the near future, if you continuously don't answer my calls and call me back, opportunities that you will miss out on. So, I like to do this. I like to do this to people that do that. So I like to take that and I like to exploit it. It's funny.
When we get done with the show, I'll call you. That way
we don't need to. We just had the conversation on the show.
Dude, I'm going to call you.
I'm not going to answer. I'm not going to answer. No, I'm going to text you back and say, what's up? That's what I'm going to do.
And then I'll wait till we talk again next time we record. And I'll be like, this is what I wanted to tell you. I had an opportunity and Juergens wanted to sponsor the podcast for $18 million. And you said, what up? So it's gone forever.
Yeah, we can play the game back and forth and we can continue to go until you grow up and put your not so dickhead pants on and we'll be good.
I'm not going to, there's a game, but I'm not going to play it.
You've already started the game.
No, I called you with an opportunity to interview a band and you were like,
nope, you didn't call me. You text me. You text me and said, oh, here's another thing. Oh, Brandon, you're going to love this one. Let's talk about fuckface again. Here we go. This guy texts me and he says, hey, do you have any interest? And I don't want to say the name of the band, but let's say, do you have any interest in interviewing someone from this band? And I responded. It wasn't a phone call. You said phone call. It was a text. You text me. I responded and said, nah. And he responds with LOL, okay. Which then tells me, and this is the problem with texting, that like I wasn't supposed to say no. I was supposed to say yes. That's so but you asked me a question and I answered the question.
But I was happy. It was a good band that I really enjoy.
Wait,
and I was
yeah,
like,
wait,
oh God.
why didn't you want the band?
We didn't say what band it is, so don't throw that out there.
Yeah, but why did you not want the band?
I just have no interest. I'm not. I turn down a lot of interviews. If there's no interest, I just have no interest. I have to have interest in who I'm talking to. I've got no interest in it. So he gets upset.
I didn't get upset.
Well, he replies, LOL, like, okay, but it was like I was supposed to say yes. So this is why he's such a fucking chick. Don't ask questions if you don't want an answer. If you want this person on the show, then say, hey, call me, even text me this, say, hey, look, I'm a big fan. They're doing this. It's pretty cool. I'd like to have them on. Are you cool with it? I'd be like, oh yeah, if that's how you feel, sure, absolutely. No problem. No problem. I wouldn't even ask you questions. That's what I would say.
You're such a woman.
I'm the woman.
Because I had to text it a certain way for you to say yes.
You asked me a question. I'm supposed to read your mind?
I was like, dude, this is exciting. That's like, I mean, I'm a huge fan of Dropkick Murphys. If I met Ken Casey and he was like, yeah, dude, I want to be on the show,
I'd say yes.
Now you'd say yes.
It's you're comparing Dropkick Murphys to the band that you text me? Are you fucking insane?
Yeah, they're
not even close.
Is it a big band? Is it a big band? Big Southern band?
You know what band
it is.
Band? You know what band it is. But they're on the same level of they got a niche. Dropkick Murphys has punk. This band has more of a Southern rock.
You're insane. They're not even close to on the same level.
Southern rock would crush in the South.
Brandon,
true story.
Go back, get another beer.
Thank you, Brandon. Stay as long as you'd like. Keep breathing.
Go get it.
No, but I mean, I see where we're both coming from. Sometimes I tell Jason, like, you want to see people, you want this person? They're really cool. They got a lot of followers. He's like, no, we don't want that person. But then sometimes I'll have like a random ass person be like, hey, find this person. I'm like, who the fuck is this? Why the fuck do we care about them? So I just stopped proposing ideas.
Then you just shut down. Fucking pussy. So
I'm the pussy. You're the one that hates my ideas. Half the time I bring shit up.
Brandon, little young man, I've told you 9 out of 10 ideas always get shot down, but that doesn't mean you stop. I shoot my own ideas down. What are you talking about? When I started in this business, 10 out of 10 of my ideas would get shot down. But you know what I did? Came back with another idea because one of them eventually is going to hit. I promise you, not more than half of your ideas are not good. And that goes the same with me. You have to have a filter. And I have a filter. That's what I am. I'm the filter. My show. I've always been that guy, whether good or bad. Go back to this followers thing. This drives me insane because you both are on this bandwagon of just because somebody's got a bunch of fucking followers on social media that they're going to be a good interview. When they don't promote, they don't do anything for us. So we can talk to somebody that's got 5 million followers. They're not reposting. They're not regurgitating any of our content. They're not telling people to listen to us. I've interviewed numerous people with millions of followers for over the years. I don't think I've had one of them ever put me over or the show over. They look at it as like, what can you do for me? So this follower thing has got to go. This is bullshit.
Well, no, it's not completely. I mean, if you do it the right way, they'll reshare it. We saw Lincoln dude we had on Jerry. We had Jerry on the day. He reshared. Look at him. He reshared it. Everything went good. Jerry Cantrell.
Who had Jerry Cantrell on?
He's talking about the Papa Roach leads.
Papa Roach. There we go. Yes.
It's Jerry Horton.
Okay, close. Jerry
Cantrell.
I don't know who that is either. Jerry Cantrell. I don't really know. I just heard the name. But he reshared it. I saw it. And it does help. It doesn't matter because it's like you got to just kind of reach out to these people that still are kind of in the new niche.
He's not an influencer. I'm talking about the influencer people.
Well, we haven't had anybody on that's an influencer.
Chuck's friend on. I didn't see her do shit for us.
Who?
I don't know. The chick.
Oh shit. Well, we gotta get the hot one on.
He's talking about Sherry Diaz.
Yeah, we gotta get the hot one on. Not saying that Sherry's not beautiful. You're beautiful, Sherry. If you're listening,
you're talking about Michelle.
Yeah, that one.
She's
tough. Even if they don't go anywhere, let's just get her on.
We've had her on before too.
Long time ago.
She didn't reshare or anything. That's what I'm saying. The influencers, they don't understand that concept. It's them and only them. The bands are a little bit different because they know that it helps with the relationships. They understand the relationships. Influencers, I don't think for the most part, don't understand the relationships because they're looking at us going, oh, I did them a favor. I went on there. Look at me. I'm this. I've got all these followers, and half the stuff sucks. Like I have no interest. Like why does people find that entertaining? I don't understand it. So, I mean, maybe it's just a split from church and state or something. I have no idea, but like, it just drives me insane when people are like, you've got to have this person on. They do absolutely nothing, but they've got 10 million followers. Well, what do they do that's so important? They make these funny videos. Okay, why is that a good interview? What are we going to talk about? How did you get the followers? What do you do? I mean, there's no story in it, versus the story of, like you said, I want you to get these random people. I would so much rather you get Joe Blow down the street that just happened to be in the news because he was caught in the crossfire at a bank robbery versus somebody with 10 million followers. Because there's a story there. It's more interesting.
Yeah, well, why can't we have both? I mean, you just got to word it to them differently. Like, hey, we're going to have you on. These are the rules. You're going to have you on. And then afterwards, we're going to take a clip of the show with you in it. We'll post it. We'll tag you in it. Reshare it.
If they have a story, if there's something of interest, but just to have them on because they have followers on social media, I just find silly. I find
you would have someone like Paul Skeens on MLB. Like, okay, his only story is he's, one of the fastest pitchers in MLB. I mean, can we talk about that forever? No, not really. That's his one storyline, but he's making headlines in MLB news.
I don't know. Who is it?
Paul Skeens, Pittsburgh's Pirate. Pittsburgh's Pirates pitcher. Pittsburgh's Pirates pitcher.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, he's got a story because he's a Major League Baseball player. Okay.
Well, that's all. Like, once you hit major leagues, then you got a story that's good enough to come on.
And he's a pirate.
But I'm sure there's stories that go along with it. Like you're missing the point, Brandon. Somebody that's on social media, if they have a story, like that's fine. Like, they got here because they did this, they gave up that, they did this. Let me give you an example. There's I guess I know him. I played with him. The poker room is like, it is just a hunting ground with people with interesting lives. And so I'm asking all these questions with people that I'm meeting. So there's this dude at the poker room that I found out about. This guy told me yesterday that, because I always ask, what do you do to make money? And I'm finding out that a lot of these regulars, all they do is play poker. Like that's what they do. Every day they go in and play poker. I'm like, how do you fund it? Because you're going to have a bad run. You're going to go broke at some point. You're not going to have money. So then they tell me, well, I'll borrow it, or I've got somebody that will mark me, but I have a side hustle. Like this one guy sells shit online. And I guess he does pretty well and makes money, but he's also a very good poker player. So he tells me about this one guy. I'm asking these questions, these guys at the poker room. Like, he goes, do you know this one guy, Fredo? I was like, I don't know Fredo. He goes, and then he explains to me who Fredo is. I said, oh, yeah, I played with that. He's like, yeah, we played together the other day. He goes, you know what he does to make money? I said, no. He sells pictures of his feet on OnlyFans because he's got small feet and they look like women's feet. And the feet fetish is huge on OnlyFans. And he makes a killing off of doing this. But his main thing is playing poker. So he funds his poker by selling fucking pictures of his feet on OnlyFans as a woman. That's a story. That's interesting.
Yeah. And his name's Fredo?
Fredo.
Is it Frodo? Is it Frodo, the guy from Lord of the Rings that has the little feet?
Yeah.
Never
Small
seen
guy.
it.
And this guy's name is Fredo?
Yeah, Fredo.
What are the chances?
Is he Hispanic?
I think I'm pretty sure.
Okay, all right. So this is clearly a lie story that he works for the cartel, and he just told you this dumbass story.
Well, he didn't tell it to me. Somebody else. His first name's
someone
Al.
else works for him.
His first name's Al.
Alfredo. Shut up. Stupid.
No, you're stupid.
Is that so you made the whole thing up?
No. The story's real. It's not Al.
Well, someone made it up and told it to him. Now he's making it up more.
No, it's a real story. They're like, these guys have interesting lives. Like how think about this. They go in, they sit down with, I think the table max is $3,000 if they're playing 2-5. So they sit down every day with $3,000 in front of them. They play poker. You know, you're going to have your ups, you're going to have your downs. You know, I just got off of a 3-week bad run, horrible deck of cards, catching horrible cards. Wasn't anything I could do. I was losing. That was my destiny for the past 3 weeks. I hit 2 pair. They have a bigger 2 pair. I was done. Now, the last couple days, can't lose. Just can't lose. I'm up about $4,000 in 2 days. Just can't lose. You know, it's good. But there's going to be a time when that's going to dip back down. Now, I have other income. I've worked. I've made investments and all these other things. These guys are doing weird shit, selling feet pictures. I mean, just odd things. Guys I'm like, what do you sell online? His e-commerce store. This guy would actually, he's a good dude. Like, what do you sell online? And he's like, anything I can buy. I'm like, what do you mean? He goes, I go out to garage sales and I buy all these things and I just sell them online. I'm like, is that profitable? He goes, yeah, I make tons of money every day. And he goes, and some days I work, some days I don't. Like some days I'll turn it on, some days I'll turn it off. Like, that's just crazy. And I'm like, so that's not your job? He's like, no, I just do it if I'm getting low for my poker money.
That's a grind, man.
I think it's called addiction.
Well, it's a job. I mean, can you think, like, I can't fathom that way of life, right? It would be way too stressful for me. I'm literally, I mean, everything's a gamble in life. You know, I mean, when you work for a company, it's a gamble and eventually you're going to get fired, right? I mean, I guess you can put it into that type of perspective, but could you imagine, especially with a family, and there are plenty of people there with a family, basing your income off of cards? Now, poker is 70-30 skill to luck, but still that 30% luck. Like I just said, the last 2 weeks, doesn't matter how good I was in that hand, I was losing no matter what.
Some people have that. Like I had a girlfriend that lived out in San Diego and we'd go to the casino and she used to put $100 in a freaking slot machine. And I swear to God, she would hit every freaking time. And I never understood it. Like, how do some people just have that? They just have that aura about them. Yeah. They're lucky people. And she was one of them. And she made it like a job. Like, she'd go to the casino once, twice a week, $100. And then boom, she's walking out with $4 or $5 grand. And I'm going, how does that even work? But she did it. So I think.
Were you going there with her?
I'd go with her and lose all my money at the crap table.
But do you keep an eye on her? She wasn't like prostituting while you were like, I'm just $100 off slots.
To be honest, she wasn't that hot.
You might want to
prostitute level.
You might want to you might want to put an S on the end of the craps table. It's not the crap table. People might think that you're going to some weird.
I did. Didn't I say craps?
He said, I lost some money at the crap table. Just me and the guys just, dropping one off there. Just
I shit first. My bad.
I'm sorry. The craps table and the roulette table were where I was losing my money.
There's guys that I've met that go in there and they're disciplined enough that, they'll make $300 and they'll leave.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you hear like people like you're talking about where they're just like making this side money just so they can play poker and keep their addiction alive. Like, I mean, how much are these guys like depressed, or like if they don't win the next hand and they can't sell something on eBay, or like are they like borderline kill themselves because they're going to lose everything? Like, is there a lot of depression and suicidal people in the poker game?
So first, let's define addiction, right? I mean, so poker gambling is obviously an addiction and it's bad when you're addicted, but we're all addicted to something. So is addiction, and I love having this conversation because is addiction in itself a bad thing, or is it what you're addicted to a bad thing? And then how do you define what you're addicted to that makes it bad? Usually the definition would be if it alters your life in a negative way. Okay, well, I've been addicted to my job. I still am addicted to my job. It's cost me relationships. It's cost me money. It's cost me opportunity. It's cost me mental stress. It gave me health issues. Okay, well, that sounds very similar to being addicted to what people would think is a negative, like gambling or you name it. You know what I mean? So we're all addicted to something that in turn, if that's the definition you want to go off of, can have a negative effect on your life. You might be addicted to a man or a woman, you're in love with them, you're addicted to them, you can't quit them, but they treat you like shit. Okay, is that the same? Would that be the same thing as one of these guys being addicted to playing poker? You know what I mean? So like, I always have a problem with the addiction thing and bashing the poker idea or the gambling idea.
Well, I'm not bashing. I'm just saying, are poker players more likely to be depressed or suicidal because they're kind of like at maybe at the end of their ropes, or they might have been playing for a while. They might be down. They might be selling all their stuff on eBay, or they might be selling feet pics, but they're actually working for the cartel and they're trying to win the money back. Like, I'm just wondering what's going on there.
Yeah. So so far it's probably like a 50-50 split. Like some of these guys, this one guy in particular that was telling me the story about the feet dude last night. He, at one time it was interesting. Like he's a very good poker player. And he actually took some money off me last night, but he's a nice guy, right? He's a nice guy. Poker players are the most honest liars. I always say that. And there was one hand that we got in with two other players. And this dude who played really loose, he's a regular, he's an older Asian guy, just endless money. You know, if you hit, it's yours. And I did. That's what got me a lot of money last night. Like I took like $1,000 off of him because I hit, and he's just like trying to bully me out of these pots. There was one, like this guy that I'm talking about, I've been playing with him for 8 hours. And he's jovial, he's loud, he's known as kind of the class clown in the poker room. Everybody knows him. So we get into this one hand, and this dude gets us off these hands. And we had the better hand. And it put this guy on bad tilt. And he said something to me that would answer your question, Brandon, if you want to pay attention. So I'm paying attention. I'm seeing you looking at me. Taking note. He goes, he says, he said to me, he goes, because he was telling the story about this girl that he's dating and to the waitress and stuff. And he says to me, he goes, what's it like to have the perfect life? To me. Because my wife was because Rach came to the poker room the night before, and she hung out with me and had some drinks. And he was like, your wife's adorable. She's just the nicest. She's so sweet. And he goes, you're so lucky. And I said, yeah, I know. I thank you, but I know. And he goes, what's it like to have the perfect? And I thought that was very interesting and very telling, because he's a go-lucky, jovial guy, comes in there, he plays every day. He doesn't seem like he has any issues, but he got put on tilt real quick. And he's now asking me that question, which makes me believe that outside that poker room, he's got nothing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
or very little, right?
Or yeah, he might have had everything, and then his wife might have ran off with a Mexican in the cartel that sells feet pics, and his kids are out of the picture, and then it's a sad life. But all he has is poker. He's like, if I don't have poker, I don't have anything. So then he's like, I got to fund money for poker.
But there's this other guy that I play with. He's a regular, nice guy, and he plays. That's what he does. I guess he plays professionally. He just comes in there to make money. He's married. I think he's got a kid, but he also plays tennis, and he goes and he works out. And then when he's done that, he comes in and he spends like 5 or 6 hours. He sits down with like $1,500 and he plays pretty tight, makes a couple dollars, and he leaves at a decent time. He doesn't overstay his welcome. Seems like he's got everything going on.
Yeah, but I mean, is he married? You know if he's married?
I just said that. He's
married. And he's staying in the poker room for 5 or 6 hours. He is not happy.
No, I'm married, and I'm in there for 12 hours.
Yeah, but you're a different schedule. This guy's got a different regimented schedule. Like Rachel's doing her thing. She's probably like, yeah, you go play poker. Go play poker.
No, she's not. She was at home cleaning. What are you talking about?
Oh, that's fine too. Yeah, but she's also probably like, go play poker so I can clean. Damn it.
No, my wife's an enabler. I have the coolest wife in the world.
That's what I'm saying. She said, go play poker.
Yeah, but his wife's at work or whatever the case may be. And, I think his wife is a nurse or something like that. And he goes and he plays poker. So I don't know. To answer your question, I don't think everyone is suicidal that plays poker professionally.
Well, I didn't say anything. No, I said, is it common among the poker players to have depression, a lot of depression or suicidal? Is it common?
Now, and that's not a lot, but any professional poker player that I've ever met. And when I say professional, I'm not talking about the guys that go into the poker room in Orlando, right, every day. I'm talking about the guys that travel, the guys that have been on TV, those guys, the guys that have made millions and lost millions. Anytime I've talked to those guys, every single one of them said that if they could do it differently, they would. They wouldn't have done that.
So they are sad.
Yeah. like one guy in particular had a drug problem at one time. I forget his name, but he's a known name in the industry, in the poker world. You'd see him during the poker run on TV and stuff. And I remember I don't know if I was interviewing or I was talking to him one day or something. And he said, do you know what? He's like, you'll never know the feeling of being in a hand and losing millions of dollars, knowing that's every dime that you have.
Oh,
and
see, that's the addiction right there.
And walking away, trying to think about at whatever age you are, whatever time of life you are, having to rebuild your life.
Well, that's the problem. That's what I'm saying. When you get to that high standard, and everyone that is in the poker room with you playing, they all fantasize about being on that the World Poker Tour and playing for these millions of dollars and being up there on TV. And then just you being there, and then you could lose it all, but you know that, but you want to keep going back. And that's the addiction. When you lose all your millions, everything you had, you could have walked away with 5 million. You're like, oh shit, we could probably make 10 off this.
Yeah.
Put it all in, you lose it. Yeah. And then you're even more sad.
Well, here's another guy that I want on the show. Did I tell you about Vegas Matt on social media?
No. Sounds familiar.
You got to follow Vegas Matt. It's this older guy. He's got a ton of money, but he does all these little videos on TikTok and on Instagram. And he goes into these casinos. He goes, we're going to put $6,000 on Baccarat, and I'm going to show you how to double it in one hand. He sits down and he goes, so here's how the game works. And I always bet the bank. So I'm putting $6,000 here. Whoever out of 2 cards has the closest to 9 wins. It's a very simple game. Face cards are zeros. Okay. So he looks at one card. It's a 3. Okay, dealer, dealer first. He goes, dealer, show me a card. And she shows a 7. Oh, that's a pretty good card. Let me look at mine. It's a 3. Okay. We need 6. Dealer, show me another card. It's a face card. Okay, well, you got 7. So we need a 6, 5 or a 6, and we'll win $6,000. Looks down. It's a 2. We lost. And that's how you lose $6,000 at Baccarat.
Oh my God.
No,
it's great. It's hilarious because you're not always seeing the wins, you're seeing the losses too.
Yeah. No, I saw Dana came out and said, he's like, I can fly anywhere in the world, whatever I want to do, whatnot. He's like, but I want to go to Caesar's Palace when I have free time. Go there. I want to go gamble. And he said he wants to find a casino that'll allow him to do $1 million hand. Yeah. So that's like unheard of, right? Like $1 million hand, unless it's in the World Poker Tournament or something.
World Poker Tournament.
What is it?
The World Series of Poker.
Close enough.
Yeah. Well, that's a tournament, and it's not a cash game. It's a tournament. So it's totally different thing than what we're talking about. I'm sure like you get a private room, you do $1 million a hand. I find it hard to believe that he can't find one. I know I've seen those videos with Dana White and he goes in the private rooms and he's playing like $50,000 hands, $100,000 hands. I'm like, yeah, sick, dude.
Maybe with Steve will do it.
It's fucking sick, dude. I mean, if you got that money to blow,
might as well.
Yeah. I mean, you're either laundering it or you just have too much money.
And you're probably making the same money off the video that you just spent of you losing 50 grand, put on YouTube, depending on who you're with.
Probably. Yeah. I still don't know how they monetize it on Instagram, but unless they're staked, they have people, once you get to 5 million followers plus, I know I would have a sponsor that's giving me the money and be like, all right, here's thanks to Inspect All Pest Services. I'm going to put $6,000.
Well, a lot of it is a lot of those they do stuff with steak. I thought you were talking about it first. Steak. You heard of steak?
Steak, like steak and potatoes.
No, STAKE, like a stake through the heart of a vampire. It's a gambling website, big gambling website. They're the ones that found a Kick, the competitor for Twitch.
Okay, so what's your point?
I don't know. It was something to do with it. Something to do with the yeah.
Hey, how far can the human eye see?
No idea.
Jesus.
It was there for a minute.
What are we talking about again?
Steaks. I have no idea. Something.
Said something about Steak of them putting the money. Oh, that's what I was talking about. Steak puts the money up for Drake to bet all these big bets. That's what I was talking about.
So they're marking him is what they're doing.
Yeah, he's saying I'm betting on so and so, but Steak's giving him the money to bet with on their app.
He lost the Tyson, but won the John Jones.
John Jones. Yeah.
Yeah. So he was hedging his bet.
Yeah. I mean, John Jones is going to win,
But
clear win.
That kick, dude, was nasty.
Oh, yeah.
Right in the fucking.
I think that was from what I heard, I think that was the first ever knockout by a kick like that for a win or a championship title.
Yeah, that little short roundhouse kick, like, and like the rest of us sitting there going, like, dude, you didn't see that coming, like, like, how did you not get away from that? But I mean, obviously, that's
on the couch eating chicken wings, like fucking idiot.
Right. The rest of us fatties are sitting there watching and going, how the fuck did you not get out of the way of that?
But it blows my mind, like those statistics. Like you'll be watching the game, like it was like for me, it'd be football. It'd be like the first time a player under 27 has caught an interception in October against a ranked opponent. Like who's coming up with these stats? Like how do you find these?
They're very quick now too.
Yeah,
like
I don't know how they.
Like we talked about it in the last episode when Jason was talking about the Lions and score the Jacksonville score, and one of the announcers said, I guess it was. Goff had drove seven times in a row. They scored a touchdown every time, their first 7 seconds. And immediately the announcer's like, yeah, that's never been done before. And he's like going on and on. And then he goes, but what's weird is Goff has 4 touchdowns or, on the season or on the game and only 3 incompletions. And immediately the guy knew that had never been done before. And I'm like, how do you like who's sitting there typing this up? Like as soon as they gotta like be premeditated where they're like, okay, what if this happened?
I didn't say any of those things. I said that I said that there was never a score.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. That score never happened, but they were talking about how that's never happened about the scoring drives.
That's what AWS does. They're all using the AWS for the Amazon AWS. So it's just feeding them information.
What's Atlanta AWS? Weather Service? Atlanta Weather Service.
No, I don't think it's that.
What is it?
It's what gives the NFL all the statistics. Have you ever seen the commercials for AWS?
I thought it was like
Amazon. It's Amazon Web Services.
Yeah, it's like I mean, just.
But a cool stat also is Amon-Ra St. Brown is through 8 games in a row with a touchdown. He's got 2 more to beat Randy Moss or tie him.
Yeah.
But like also stats like that, like nobody remembers, like or nobody really thinks about. Like someone asks you, like who has the most consecutive touchdowns in a game? Like. I don't fucking know.
Well,
nobody knows or cares.
It gives them something to talk about. Could you imagine? I don't know how we watched football in the 90s because what did they talk about?
Not that stuff. I mean, it'd be like I think everything started with, you know what? I think that might be the world.
Yeah.
That might be a world record.
And we gave him a break on all that. Now, Brandon, you said nobody cares. That's not true. Guys care. You know why? Because every guy wants to be smarter than the other guy. Like that information that I told Chuck about the Detroit-Jacksonville game or Jacksonville-Detroit game, most guys would be like, that Jacksonville-Detroit game just to set you up, and they were like, oh, yeah. They blew them out. There's a, big game from Detroit. Big game. Big running game. They're good. Yeah. Bet you didn't know anything about that score and how it made history, did you? No. What's up with the score? The other guy's going to probably go, oh, yeah. I know about the score. Yeah, the history thing. Yeah, of course. It's a big deal. What do you know? What do you know? Well, I know that score's never happened before in the history of the NFL. The other guy now has to decide what road he wants to go down. Does he want to agree and defer that he did not know that information? Or does he want to say, that's bullshit, man. Where'd you get that information? That's stupid without having any information to back it up. That's why guys want to know stuff. They argue about that stupid shit.
Brandon would agree and be like, oh, yeah, I know about that. And he'd take that all the way. He would just, oh, yeah, I knew that. Yeah, of course.
No, but it's like, I mean, if it was about the Falcons, I kind of like want to know things about them. But, if it's not my team, I'd be like, oh, yeah, fuck it. Yeah, you know what happened to the Falcons? They got blown out. They got their ass fucked by the Broncos, and they put Michael Penix in just for the hell of it. What can you do, kid? I know your team sucks this year in college, but let's see what you can do.
All right, let me get to some of these submissions and let's get out of here. So Livin Rent Free is happening. If you are interested, and we're counting down the days because it ends on December 12th. So if you want me to pay your rent, thanks to Inspect All Pest Services, inspectallservices.com, you just have to submit on thebaileyshow.com on why I should pay your rent. If I live rent free in people's minds, you should live rent free in real life. Just make sure that your email matches up with the email that you subscribe to the podcast on. This is a freebie episode, so a lot of you are non-subscribers. We want you to subscribe to the podcast. You're going to get thousands of episodes, tons of content, hours and hours of content. Plus, you'll get the Tuesdays and Thursdays episodes and some cool stuff that I'm working on moving forward. But subscribers, I always like to take care of and do a little extra stuff for. All right, here we go. I enjoy the show. Thanks for all the content. I don't really want the money for rent. Would like it for some Bud Light, new tires for my lawnmower, trip to Panama City next spring, my wife a new pair of Van shoes, and a good family night out at Texas Roadhouse. Merry Christmas.
They're trying to appeal to me right there in that one. They're like,
Yeah, they were. They
they
said,
said,
I
I
got
know
one
Brandon
vote.
don't like us lying, so I'm just going to tell them what I want. Bud Light. They knew that. I was like, okay, all right. $2,500 worth of Bud Light, man. That's a good bit. I'll take it.
Here's another submission for the Livin Rent free. If you want me to pay your rent for the month of December, thebaileyshow.com. I've been struggling financially since February of this year. I'm 36, never had a lot of money my whole life, but I always had enough to get by. I live in a place with my dog. I had a good job until this past February. That's when things started to go downhill. First, my truck started to have issues and I couldn't afford to fix it and get it running again. So without a vehicle, well, couldn't go to work. So I started applying for jobs near me, got some part-time jobs by the middle of March, which helped a little bit, but needed a full-time job because my rent is $1,800 a month. So working part-time doesn't cover my rent, utilities, food, and other bills. So I've cut back on some things to try to save money. I've lost my gas in my house, and a few times this year I was late on my payments, including now. I haven't had gas in my house since August, which means I can't use my stove or take warm showers. I'm okay with it right now, but winter is coming. Behind my house is a lot of woods, so I've been living off the land for the majority of the year. I've been collecting walnuts and acorns for food. I have a bow and arrow, so I've spent a lot of time hunting squirrels and occasionally rabbits if I see one. I've missed more than I killed. It's hard shooting squirrels because they don't stay still for long, so I learned how to set up snare traps. I have 8 different snare traps set out there to help me catch some food. Every day I catch them, and that's how I get a majority of my food. Since I can't use my stove, I cook my food over a fire behind my house. Also have another way of getting food. I camp out behind pizza restaurants all night. And the time they're about to close, I wait to see if they throw out any leftover pizzas, which they do. I'll gladly take that home as long as it's still in the box. I've always been without internet. I've always been without internet. I've always been without internet a few different times this year, but I have my dog to keep me entertained. As long as I have her, I'm happy. I always put her needs before mine. I always make sure she has food and treats. There's been at least 5 times this year that I can remember spending the last bit of money to get her food, which is okay with me because I can provide for myself in the woods. If I go 1 month with someone paying my rent, I feel like that can get me back on my feet because it takes every penny I make just to pay my rent. I've been late on my rent the last 3 months in a row. I've had a scare last month. My landlord called me on the 10th of last month and said, if I don't have the money by the 17th, then I'll be out. Then he wanted me out, which thankfully I was able to pay. I can show proof of my last receipt if need to. I'm still trying to find a full-time job. So if you know anyone that is hiring, let me know. I live in Ackworth, Georgia. Also, if there's any 2Pers out there listening, any jobs hiring right now, let me know. That's deep. That's
a rough one.
That's a rough one.
That's a man by himself just trying to survive, man. If he don't win, I'm gonna get him a pellet gun so he can shoot them squirrels a little easier.
Crap. Did he say he ate acorns?
Yeah, and walnuts. Living
They're
off
pretty
the
good for you.
Acorns?
They're good for you. Yeah.
They're not great for you, but they're very hard to eat because you have to like
You gotta
boil them.
boil them. Yeah. You got to get all the toxins out of there, the
Yeah.
starchy.
Is that really all you got out of that? Is he eats acorns?
Well, I thought at first that you're doing one of those stupid AI generated ones because it was so crazy. So then I was like, well, then AI messed up and thought that acorns were like, you know.
Yeah. Would you say that guy's maybe the top front runner?
He's
I don't
definitely a
know.
contender.
Why
Top
is he
3.
listening? How's he listening to the show?
I wonder that too, Joe. He didn't have internet, but maybe he has a phone with service on it. He
Yeah.
might have it.
And we're the only entertainment he has when he's not taking out raccoons or squirrels or whatever with a bow and arrow.
Yeah, even homeless people have phones nowadays.
That's
He's probably
true.
sitting in the house. He's about to listen to this right now and be like,
Yeah.
God, I hope I win.
Yeah, probably. And I did it on the free episode because I'm assuming he's not paying for the subscription.
Yeah, just in case. Good thinking.
He has
Good
to
thinking.
pay for the subscription when he's not eligible.
Oh, that right too. Yeah.
Ooh,
Oh, gonna knock him off. Sorry,
Oh.
buddy.
Oh, I didn't think about that. That'd be horrible.
Oh my gosh, dude.
He's got to subscribe. He probably heard and then he subscribed and he spent his last $4.99 to get his entry in.
That was it. So he's got us for the month. He won't even know if he won.
Yeah. Well, I could tell him, look, in lieu of your $1,500 rent, I can give you 30 months free subscription.
Yeah. I'm sure he's gonna. Well, he needs entertainment. Apparently, he doesn't have entertainment. So
This is a very sad promotion. It's very hard to pick out. It's gonna be hard to pick on picking day.
Yeah, that's a I'm gonna put a little star next to that one. That was pretty deep. I can't even imagine, man. Just a guy with his dogs living off the land.
He
I mean,
ain't got nothing.
he's kind of living like Brandon right now.
Yeah, but I'm doing okay. I'm doing okay.
Look at that. Brandon's living like luxury. He's got
It's out to living large. Brandon's living large compared to that guy.
Yeah, we got the power on still. We ain't got no gas to begin with, so they can't cut that off.
yeah, he's got beer, he's got blankets, he's got lights, he's got a roof. I mean, what else do you need, right?
Rich.
Computer for porn, and sometimes
Computer-
talking to y'all.
Yeah, look at that. Computer for porn and sometimes talking to y'all. All right, let's finish things up here. Chuck, you got anything before we get out?
No, man. I was happy to be here. I'm still trying to close out my baseball season. So if you guys know any 10-year-olds that play baseball in North Georgia, hit me up. I'm looking for a couple new recruits for the team.
Why don't you just go scout wherever 10-year-olds go and hang out and just start talking to them randomly?
Yeah,
That works.
right
out.
when they get off class.
Apparently somebody's doing that. I had another team poach 2 of my best players and they brought them over in a trade, but I didn't get anything back. And I just found out. I'm pissed. And they're my best player. It's crazy. It's a very dog eat dog world.
Do they offer him something like, hey,
I'm gonna
kid,
trade.
I'm gonna offer you a case of Nerds and Skittles if you come.
No, they offer them like bat bags and like a better batting instructor, hitting instructor, and like, the guaranteed position. It's a whole racket. It's stupid. I'm so pissed off right now.
They're doing damn NIL deals and they're like 8.
For real. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, dude, they're 10 years old. Like, they should be having fun, not worrying about, what cleats they're going to get.
Trading.
They're giving them cleats.
Sorry, Mr. Lunsford. I got to move to California for this gig. I just got signed out here to the local rushers.
Dude, I've gotten 3 text messages from parents. They're all going to the same place, and they all said, sorry, no hard feelings.
That's funny. I didn't know it was that big of a deal.
Things falling apart.
I want the rings back. I want the rings back.
It's gonna be a rough off season for you, man. I'll come in and help if you need me to.
Why don't you get them all addicted to heroin or something where they feel that they have to be on your team or they're not going to get their next.
I'm going to start giving them performance enhancing drugs. We don't test.
Yeah, do something. Show them porn. And that's what you do.
No.
Is you show them, if you show them something that you like, if you leave me, I'm going to tell your mom.
Yeah.
You're gonna be in trouble.
I'll bring a cigarette butt that's lit, and I'll be like, "Hey, hold that for a second." I'll snap a photo and be like, "No, you're with me now."
Yeah, that's exactly what you do. Yeah,
blackmail them.
Exactly what you do.
The kid will be like, "I'm gonna tell my mom you gave it to me." Like, I don't smoke cigarettes, you little bitch. They're not gonna think it's me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's good. All right, Brandon, you got anything before we get out?
Oh, we're not doing what's up, Chuck?
No, that's the next episode.
Cool. I was getting ahead of myself. Well, I appreciate it, everybody that listening and then hopefully it's not too bro-ish.
Why do you want to do what's up, Chuck? You've never said that. Is there something special you're waiting for?
Well, you just forgot about me last time, so I didn't know if you were just forgetting about both of us and just forget about us and just let us fade off. So I just wanted to make sure we were all represented here.
Yeah, no, you're right. I did forget, and I do forget. And
just wanted to make sure you were okay.
I'm
okay.
okay.
You got a lot of stress on you. Thinking about things.
Got a lot going on. All right, give us a like, share, follow on social at Listen to the BS, thebaileyshow.com. Interested in sponsoring the show, podcast and or radio show. Reach out to me. I would love to have you on board. Tickets for Podcast and Pours 4, Saturday, December 14th, Elixir, downtown Orlando. We've got Saliva headlining, doing a special acoustic set. They're going to do Saliva songs, Christmas. I mean, it's going to be awesome. Something you'll never see again. I promise you that. Distinct Grace will open up. We are possibly adding a female artist to the set. We'll have Santa Claus out there. Brandon's going to have an original song. We'll have giveaways, tickets, VIP, hotel, thanks to the Hilton, all available, thebaileyshow.com. It is coming up very, very soon. please join us. We'll have the live podcast out there. We need to make, we've had a lot of success of doing them in Georgia. We need to make this one huge. And this is, without a doubt, the biggest band that we've had so far. That's what I mean. It's only this or the Verb Pipe, but Saliva is a big band. You know what I mean? So we got to make this huge. So please come out. Again, thebaileyshow.com, also for Livin Rent Free. Thanks to Inspect All Pest Services, inspectallservices.com. You've got until December 12th to get me those submissions if you want me to pay your rent. All right. Thanks for the support. Appreciate you. Subscribe to the podcast if you don't already. thebaileyshow.com. We'll talk soon. And bye.
Thanks for listening. Till next time, check out thebaileyshow.com. Make sure you like, share, follow on all socials. I leave you with these parting words.
Never got a pink slip either. You know what I would get? A guy would come around to my desk and say, "Get the fuck out of here!"
What do we want to talk about?
Subscribe at thebaileyshow.com.
Yeah, baby.